Ever wondered how producers such as myself make mashups? You must have heard at least some of them at some point. Typically, mashups are taken as a combination of 2 or more songs. When there are more than 5 songs blended into one, it is called a mega mashup. Also, you have probably heard another term medley. Now the question arises, how is a medley different from a mashup? The answer is simple: in medleys, we jump from one song to another. For example, this. The point of mashups is to fully combine 2 songs so that both could be heard at the same time, not switching among one another. Let me say a few things before we get started. First of all, I want to thank all of you for giving so many views in Crab Rave. Thus here I present the FL Studio tutorial to make mashups. Going to the very basics, it is never told that 2 songs need to have the same key. That's a common misunderstanding. The most important factor is chord progression. Tempo is sometimes necessary too. Second comes bassline. Have you ever noticed that you usually cannot overlap 2 basslines unless they are the same in different octaves? So we have to make sure that a single bassline can work for both the songs. Third and last, before we get started, unless you are not making a mashup of your own song, by which I mean the one that you made yourself, please credit the original artists and do not publish their songs on music platforms, etc., etc. Also, I will tell you my secret to bypass the copyright claim on YouTube. Without further ado, let's get started. For this tutorial, I will use my song Crab Rave, that is. Crab Rave and Coffin Dance. What you saw was the remake of both the songs I used in the mashup. I generally prefer to make a remix then mash them up, however it is not compulsory. Next I come to this part, where I begin the initial transition. Nice, right? Now let's go in depth. For this transition, what I did was loop the drop intro to make a transition effect to go over to the next song. But this is the same thing as a medley, right? Yes and no, I may have done that here, but wait for what's to come, hee hee hee. How chords work. The first thing you need to do is to check the compatibility of the chord progression. Never be afraid to use transpose. That is why I told in the beginning, that I first remake the songs on the same note because it provides much more coverage for mashing up songs. Like you saw in the last example, make sure that the chords of both songs can be used on each other. Now say things don't go our way. Then what should we do? Take a look at this song. Some songs like I'm Blue Megalovania and We Are Number One have very unique melodies which surprisingly go well with many different styles of chords. Be on the lookout for such songs. You never know when you will encounter one, so keep the investigation on every song you suspect. Since we are on chords, let's have a look at a fusion melody. The trick to fusion melodies are the spacing of notes in the piano roll. So make short changes anywhere you require, but be careful not to remove the signature style of the song. Let's move to our next topic, bass lines. First have a listen. Now you see that I have used two different bass lines, however I kept the style of the bass line same for both. This reduces the noticeable factor when changing chords and keeps the feel of a same song. Sometimes situation arises as such that you have no choice but to keep a single bass line. Then here is another example. What you just saw was 4 songs overlaid on a single bass line. To be honest, the more songs you take into account, the harder it gets. I have seen many YouTubers making mega mashups of 30 songs just played one after another with the same set of instruments. That is a medley, not a mashup. However, here is an excellent example of a proper mega mashup. That's all for bass lines. Also keep in mind that the songs you select don't have too much difference in tempo. That also kills the feel of the songs. Next topic, fusion drums. It is not always necessary to make a fusion drum beat. In some other cases, when you select songs of different genres, a fusion drum beat becomes extremely important. Here are two examples, one fusion orchestral and one fusion ethnic. And now to our final topic, dynamics. In this final part we discuss how to effectively produce a mashup from beginning to end. If you are using more than 2 songs, try to keep one song as base. I will use my example Coffin Rave. 1. Always begin with one song in the intro. 2. Try to make a slow steady noticeable transition in the pre-drop. 3. Make sure high energy is in the drop when you're in the next song. Sometimes entering into the next song directly is also effective. 4. Combine sound effect in the beatdown or climax, whatever you call it. 5. Keep going the mixed track smoothly where you have both melodies or more. Six. Try to keep a smooth outro with one song only, but you can use other chords or melodies as required. Now you have a summary of what you have to do to make a mashup. I will say again, what's most important to making mashups is your choice of songs. The secret to no copyright claim is transposing the bass key of the mashup. Though the method is not 100% efficient, it still works. Make sure to change the key to one not belonging to any of the songs in the mashup. I have put 2 of my mashup playlists in the description, which are good examples of mashups. Lastly, I thank you for watching till the end of this video. If the tutorial was beneficial, then please hit the like button. If you're new here, then subscribe. If you have further doubts, please write in the comments section and I will try my best to explain. Also, tell in the comments if you want tutorials on other topics. The Crab Rave project is there for download. Thanks again. Pix Music Hacks, out.